everyone, welcome to my online geography class KSK Geography. As we are doing one of the easiest and simplest chapter for your ICSE Geography, and from where you can score maximum. So that is the waste management. Previous video we discussed about the basic concept of waste management and what will be the impact if it will not manage properly, and in this video we will discuss how to manage those waste materials. So first, as we already discussed, there is a different steps are there in the waste management. So first thing is there the collection, right? So collection is very important. Why? Because in the collection time onwards only we need to manage the waste materials. How? First of all, we need to segregate the waste materials. We will segregate the waste materials different way, right? Different types, different groups. Remember, the half of the problem it will be solved. So, as you can see, the household and commercial waste we are getting, that if we will divide, we will segregate, we will collect it in different way. So that it will be very helpful for us that we need to manage the waste. Because different waste materials, it can be disposed in different way, and then we will be able to get some benefits also from there. Like here you can see that different color dustbins we are using or waste bins you are using that to collect the different waste materials. So in India, these are the different colors does waste bin we are using. What are those? Green bins, that blue bins, red bin and yellow bin. Different color it will help the people to understand to throw the different type of waste in different color bins. Like green bins, it will be used for collecting biodegradable or wet waste like the food scrap, garden waste or organic materials. Blue bins typically use non-biodegradable or dry waste such as plastic, metals and papers, right? Next one, red bins specifically designed to hazardous or medical waste. In certain context like the waste including the syringe, bandage, basically the biomedical waste. This biomedical term is very important. What is biomedical term? You need to understand the waste including the syringe, bandage means the waste materials we are getting from the hospitals, pathological labs, from all those things. So those are called the biomedical waste. So red bin is used to collecting the biomedical waste. Next one, yellow bins. Yellow bins is used for collecting the glass bottles or the clean cardboard, newspaper, plastic or the office paper. All such things we can collect in the yellow bin, right? So if we will segregate the waste materials in different bins, now we just see the problem arises more when you will mix all the waste materials together. So then it will be not useful at all. Like here you can see, if the biodegradable waste materials like the food scraps, garden waste or organic waste, if we will collect it separately, that thing it can be used for making compost. But if it will be mixed with the non-biodegradable waste like the dry waste or plastic and the metals, so both the things it cannot be used together for any purpose. So segregation is very important. After segregation, here you can see the disposal, how we have to dispose those things. First of all, there is a different methods of disposing. So first you can see the landfill. We need to dump the waste materials in one place. So in that too we can minimize the harmful effect of waste. Next, incineration. Some materials we can burn it, right? If we will burn it, then what will happen? The problem of the volume of waste that can be minimized. So those are the two methods of waste disposal. Next, here you can see that biogas, right? And composting and vermicomposting. So those are the different methods are there. Composting, basically what will happen? The biodegradable waste materials basically will collect it, and with the help of microorganism we can dispose those waste materials, and from there we will be able to get the manure also. And vermicomposting, it will be same like composting, but here in place of microorganism, here we will use the earthworms, that it will make the process faster. So all those things we will discuss one by one here. So first one, here you can see that landfill or dumping. So first we need to know about the open dumping. Open dumping is what? Is very easy, and you must have observed around your city, the close by your city, there will be one dumping station. Every day the municipal corporation, they will collect the waste materials from your houses, so they will dump it in one place. So that is open dumping. So they will dump it in one place. Now what will be the advantage? Inexpensive, it will be not so expensive, and conventional methods of waste disposal. Next, here you need to know about the disadvantage. There are what some disadvantages are there. Causes air and groundwater pollution, because as it is there in open area, so it will start creating a bad odor or smell, and also it will cause the problem for the air pollution and the water pollution. Health hazards increase. Why? Because different type of insects, it will start growing in that area. So in that way, it will increase the health problem. Right. Next, it will not looking good also. When those materials, it will be there in open, and the bad odor, it will be there, smell, it will be there, mosquitoes and different type of insects, it will be flying over that area. So it will be not a good sight. Next, so to overcome those problems, another type of disposal methods are there, that is called landfilling. So landfilling, what will happen? The problem it was there in open dumping, it is there in open. So in landfill, what we will do? We will dig the land. Here you can see we will dig the land, and in between that land, what we will go? We will put all the waste materials together in that place, and then we will fill the land with the waste, and then after that we will put the cover here. We will put the cover here with the soil or concrete material. So that is called the landfilling. Now what will be the advantage of landfilling? The advantage, it will be there like cheap waste disposal, right? Next, jobs will be created for local people. Lots of different types of waste can be disposed compared to the other methods, and the gases given up by the landfill site could be collected and used for the generating power. So those are the advantage of landfill, as well as what are the disadvantage of open dumping. That also it will be here considered as a advantage. Now what are the disadvantage? The site, it will look ugly. The dangerous gases produced sometime that also create pollution. Now local streams could become polluted and not be able to use redevelopment as it might be too polluted, right? So those are the problem it will be there. So remember one thing, for all type of disposal, there will be some advantages as well as there will be some disadvantage. Now composting is good. There are a lot of advantages are there, but the one condition is there, right? We need to segregate those biodegradable waste materials. We can produce the compost from the biodegradable waste materials only. So here you can see, once you collect the biodegradable waste materials, especially the kitchen waste we are getting every day, right? So that things, with the help of microorganism, like different type of bacteria, fungus, that it will help to decompose the waste materials, and once it will decompose, so we will get the manure at the end. So that it can be used for gardening as well as to the agricultural field. Those processes called composting. Now what are the advantage of composting? So here you need to see what are the advantage of composting, right? So here you can see the advantage of composting: reduce odor, like the foul smell, it can be controlled with the composting. Next, volume reduction. When you will compost those materials, the volume it will minimize. Next, nutrient concentration, right? Nutrient materials will be able to get it back through the composting. So those are the basic advantage of composting. Now what are the disadvantage of composting? Disadvantage, like it takes time, right? The microorganism, it will take time. It is little bit slow process, required systematic process, and does not address excess nutrient problems, and may not have an available market of products, right? So those are the problems of composting. Basically this, it will be very slow. Now to overcome those things, another method is there, that is called vermicomposting. Here the same process of composting, that biodegradable waste materials it will be used, but where you will use the earthworm, the insects. Now what will happen with the help of insects? The process, it will become much more faster. Faster, and the advantage of composting the waste materials you will get, and that it can be useful for the agricultural activities as well as gardening. So those it will consider under the vermicomposting. Next, here you can see, this is very important, the advantage and disadvantage of vermicomposting: reduce the local loading and odor control, nutrient reduction, worms use as animal and aquaculture feed, and disadvantage: careful management is required, space requirement, additional cost is required, and it is little bit time consuming also. Now, so that it can be done only for vermicomposting. Now, if you will compare the composting and vermicomposting, two basic differences are there. That is, organic matters it will be used, and basically here you will use the microorganism to get rid of the waste materials, and here you will use the earthworms, right? So those are the basic difference it will be there. And composting it will be little bit slow, vermicomposting it will be faster. Now here you can see the another methods are there. Now few materials are there that you cannot dispose to the composting or vermicomposting, and that if you will not dispose properly, it will start creating different type of hazards. So for that, those hazardous waste materials we can dispose through the incineration process. What is incineration process? Here basically those materials we will burn it, and after burning, the problem of the volume that it can be sorted out very easily. But one disadvantage is there: when you will burn the waste materials, we may get rid of those volume, but it will start creating the environmental or the air pollution. That will be the problem of incineration. Here you need to know about the advantage and disadvantage of incineration. Advantage: 95 to 96% volume it can be reduced, but the problem is there air pollution, as I already discussed, right? And different type of toxic materials it will increase, like ashes must be landfill and may be hazardous. High capital and operational cost is required for incineration. Waste water problem it will be there. So those problem it will be the advantage. From there we can get the energy also, right? You can generate the electricity also. Those are the advantage and disadvantage of incineration. Now let's come to the last part of the waste management chapter, that is the concept of 3R. What is the 3R? 3R means reduce, reuse and recycle. Now here basically you need to remember one thing: we need to get rid of the waste materials. Now how to get rid of the waste materials? We need to produce less waste materials. So how the waste materials it will be produced less? We need to utilize the resource in such a manner so there will be less wastage. According to the demand, that much resource materials we should produce, and then the amount of waste materials it will become less. To reduce, first things what you have to do, we have to use the less resource materials. Then the optimum utilization if it will be there, so then we will be able to get rid of the waste materials. Like here you can see nowadays we are using the LED light, which can provide us light with less consuming of electricity. So in that way optimum utilization of resources are required, are essential even. Then after reduce, next R means reuse. We have to reuse the product again and again. In that way the resource generation it will become less, and the waste material also it will become less. And the last one, the recycle. So whatever waste production we are getting, remember, if we will be able to recycle the waste materials, and from there we will be able to get the different type of resource material. So from there also we will be able to minimize the waste materials production. That's it from the chapters waste management. As I already said, this chapter is one of the easiest, simplest and easy to score chapters. Please go through the chapters. You can get 10 out of 10 from this chapter easily with your basic common sense only. Thank you for watching KSK Geography, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.